Welcome to the Flag Bearer channel. This is Little Known Black History Facts. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Donyale Luna, from first to all but forgotten. Before Beverly Johnson, Naomi Sims, and Tyra Banks became known as supermodels, there was Donyale Luna. The world's first black cover girl, Donyale Luna overcame deep prejudice to land a stellar modeling career. Then, as quickly as it started, it all ended just as quickly. Donyale Luna is largely forgotten today, but she was one of the first women to carve out the space into which today's black models exist. In the 1960s, Donyale Luna, a young black woman from Detroit, Michigan, took the fashion world by storm. She did not open the doors of fashion for black models, but she made them open wider. She was the first black model who really began to change things, to enable more diverse beauty standards to break through. Before the civil rights movement in America, African American models were visible only in black magazines such as Jet and Ebony, but were never seen on the covers of Western fashion magazines, on the runway and fashion shows, or in advertising. Donyale Luna was born Peggy Ann Freeman in Detroit, Michigan. Her father worked at the Ford Motor Company, and her mother was a receptionist. In 1964, photographer David McCabe, while on assignment for Ford Motors, discovered Donyale while she was walking on the street in Detroit. He asked her if she had ever considered modeling and invited her to come to New York. At age 19, she left Detroit for New York. When she arrived, McCabe introduced her to Nancy White, the editor of Harper's Bazaar magazine. Impressed by her beauty, Nancy had Donyale sketched by an illustrator. Donyale Luna's modeling career was launched when Harper's Bazaar, which had never had a black person on its cover before, featured the sketch of Luna on the cover of the January 1965 edition. This was the first time the magazine had featured a black model. Luna then signed an exclusive one-year contract with Harper's Bazaar fashion photographer Richard Avedon. His first picture of the model appeared in a 6-page feature in the April 1965 edition of the magazine. However, the photographs of Luna in Bazaar had prompted advertisers in the southern states to pull all their advertising, while many white southern readers canceled their subscriptions. The owner of the magazine did not allow any more photographs featuring Donyale. Overnight, she became the girl of the day, with newspapers across the country declaring her the black supermodel. As the civil rights movement gathered pace, so too did society's fascination with the exotic. A cultural revolution was taking place, and Donyale was on the front line of the times. Against her will, she became a symbol. Luna could never quite escape prejudice. On the one hand, people longed for her to become a symbol of the African American resistance, a role she struggled with. On the other hand, advertisers were canceling their accounts with magazines that would feature her photos. However glamorous her life became, discrimination and racism still persisted. No matter what she did in America, she was always going to be limited by the color of her skin. So she made a decision. She decided to go to Europe, where discrimination was less prevalent. Her big break came just as she arrived in the UK. She went to London, where she had huge success. In March of 1966, she became the first model of color to grace the cover of Vogue magazine. Overnight, she became an international celebrity, not to mention one of the most in-demand models in the world. Time magazine dubbed 1966 as the year of Luna. Donyale began taking on acting roles and used modeling as a way to advance her acting career. She became one of the highest paid models of her day and posed for most of the famous designers of the late 1960s and early 1970s. She was also one of the surrealist artist Salvador Dali's favorite models. A full 8 years before Beverly Johnson made history in August 1974 by becoming the first black model to appear on the cover of the American version of Vogue, Donyale Luna, in March 1966, became the first African American model to grace the cover of the British edition of Vogue. Luna also became the first black fashion icon, and her face and form inspired the first black mannequin produced in 1967. As her platform continued to expand, so did her popularity and exposure to the party scene. It was during these free-spirited years in the European limelight that Donyale Luna dated rock stars, movie stars, and a prince, and she also developed a drug habit. Luna was hanging out with some of the most creative people, but some of them were also among the most destructive in the influence that their drug taking would ultimately have on her as a still naive young model who, when she first arrived in New York, neither drank nor smoked. While living the glamorous life in Europe, Donyale was introduced to drugs such as heroin and LSD. Throughout the late 60s and into the 70s, Luna would go on to act in over 5 films. Unfortunately, her modeling career fizzled after rumors of her erratic and unprofessional behavior on set, and as a result of her escalating drug use. Donyale's drug use soon took over her career. She became difficult to work with. She would show up late to modeling engagements or not show up at all. Donyale's hard partying eventually caught up with her. Sadly, on May 17, 1979, at the young age of 32, from an accidental drug overdose of heroin, she died, leaving behind her estranged husband and their 18-month-old daughter. Luna's legacy helped change the fashion industry by paving way for Black models all over the world. Until next time, if you like little-known history facts as I do, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Press the bell to be notified of future uploads. Thank you for watching.